Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm coming to you today from my house in Cedar Grove. Wanted to share, hence the glasses and the flannel. I am prepping for selection today, but wanted to take a couple of minutes to just share out an update about the Local Movements Workplace Project. Specifically, everything not Durham, because I know we've been talking about the Durham office move a ton, as that was a huge endeavor. And I just would be remiss if I didn't take this last opportunity to say kudos to Kate Brown for leading so strongly on getting us out of 4,500 square feet into about 1,200 square feet in about 30 days. That process that took us about 4 months usually takes 11 to 13 months to give you all the context of how quickly we had to move. So that was a big deal. And now we're there. And I know many of you have been in the space, and it will work for the short term. And we will begin working on a longer term option soon. So wanted to just give you a quick headline update, and then we'll go into each of the individual spaces that when we do this work, just a reminder, and I'll share out some resources along with this video, but when we do this work on a regional level, we are working with a national workplace strategy and design team. And so that team works with all 53 regions on their facilities. And of the 53 regions, I've talked to about 5 or 6 that have multiple offices. So it's more than 53 locations. So we are not their only place, and we have worked together a ton over the last couple of months as we've gotten the Rocky Mount space set up, done the Durham office move, gotten the Warrenton space set up, and now they are working with us on Kinston. So they've given us a ton of their time. And at the end of the Durham process, that was a lot of back and forth, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, they said, hey, we need to pause for just a minute on Eastern North Carolina. And so we will be working closely again with them starting in early April. Andrew and I will talk to them about our overall regional real estate strategy. And so at that point, we will re-engage and start to make plans for moving forward. And that really is about our space in the triangle, our longer term space that will be in the triangle, and then also our whole picture of what we're intending to do here. And I just want to reiterate that from where I sit, my understanding, and we can continue to talk about this, but I just want to make sure everybody's clear on what I'm thinking about as the project lead here, that we are talking about local movement workspaces, and that not all of those workspaces will look the same. Because our counties will need different things. And as we continue to build local visions and understand the needs of our local communities, I imagine that we won't need the same things in our different communities. So all of that's to say that I don't know that we will have a standalone office in every single space. And we could build the budget to do that. Right now, we do not have the financial capacity to have an office in every single space. And so we have capacity. We haven't built the budget to do that. And so just wanted to clarify that again, make sure everybody understands that what we're working towards is to try to do a couple of different kinds of spaces so that we can learn from those spaces. So for example, in Warrenton, there is a desk. Just a desk in another building. And so that is creating space for Travis to have one-on-one meetings, for Michelle to go and work if she needs a space, for core members potentially to go and work there one-on-one with each other, but it's not a big group space. Our space in Rocky Mount, as you all know, is upstairs in the Battle House, where Capital Broadcasting has their Rocky Mount office. And that space won't necessarily be open to us for the long term, because as they move into the Rocky Mount Mills, I don't know what their plans are, their longer term plans are with that house. So we will look at the Rocky Mount Mills as an option, but we also are working with Self-Help. And so that's an organization I'll link to here so you can learn more about them. They have an office space that's open in Rocky Mount, so we will look at that space. And we'll continue to just research what's possible there for a longer term option. That space, we do intend to have group working spaces and some desks that people could work from 3 to 4 days a week or 1 to 2 days a week, similar to how we're using the Durham space now. In Kinston, we are working on this hard, and this is our effort right now. We are working to open a standalone office in Kinston. Was not our original plan when we proposed our initial launch of this project. We thought we would be doing a co-working space there where we were renting from another person who was renting the space. But unfortunately, that nonprofit has had to close down, and the executive director of that space was kind enough to help us negotiate and connect with the landlord. So we've been able to take over the space we were going to rent from her, but that has meant more of an expense than we initially planned on, which is similar to, y'all will remember, that's what happened in Rocky Mount as well. We were going to rent space from STEP, a nonprofit that was there in the Battle House. They moved out of the space, but we were able to take over the space. So in both of those cases, we've ended up taking on more of a financial commitment than we thought we initially would. So there's a key lesson learned, that this takes a lot longer than we thought it would, and it costs more than we think it will. And so those are some of my key learnings right now. And then in terms of Greenville, with that space, we were intending to launch in a school. The principal that we had those early conversations with has since left, and so Stafford is working now to work with the new principal on what could still be possible. The trailers that we were initially going to ask to use 2 of are still there, still not being used, and so there's still great possibility there. But with the staff turnover on that end, we haven't been able to get the negotiations going. So that's the update on the spaces we have: Warrenton, Rocky Mount, Kinston, Greenville, and then of course Durham. You all know the update there. And those were really our initial, aside from Durham, those were the initial proposed ones for this school year. And then we had a phase 2 that we anticipated doing more research and looking into. And that includes looking into a space in the Northeast, so Halifax, Weldon, Northampton area, looking into space in the Southeast as Takia kind of got her bearings, got her feet under her. We wanted to give some time on that one. Potentially Vance Granville, potentially a longer term space in Rocky Mount. Again, that one's a short term lease at this point. So we are situated still at the beginning of that phase 2 because we had to jump and do a short-term move with phase 3, which was what happened in Durham. So wanted to just give you all a voiceover to that, and I'm going to share out again the initial planning memo that I shared at the beginning of the year, so you can see where we are in the process. It is intensive to do real estate work, and just want to again say that we are reliant on a national team as well that has so many other regions that they're working on, and that is just part of our commitment as a national organization, that we would have our legal team vet every lease, that we have real estate team that is going to vet every lease, and that is about protection of us and our core members and the partners that we would work with to lease our spaces, so that everyone can be protected in the event of any kind of risk incident. So all of that to say, continuing to work on it and happy to continue talking about it. I'm selecting this week, as I mentioned, but I'm going to look towards April. I'm hosting some focus groups with alumni and hopefully core members to get some more learnings from them about what they would want to use spaces for. And then hope to, as we get into the Kinston space and start to see alumni and core members using the Rocky Mount space, to really do a lot of learning from those groups of people, so that as we think about opening our further spaces in other locations, we have all of that great learning. So that's what I'm working on now in relationship to this project, as well as getting Kinston going, and welcome your questions and welcome you to participate in focus groups along the way. So reach out, and I hope everybody has a great week. And to the 65% of our team who's selecting, happy selection. Talk soon.